Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Down to Earth Gardening and Design, and I'm out here this evening harvesting some lavender. I wanted to talk a little bit about growing lavender in your garden, and also just some things that I've tried with the lavender that I want to share with you. So this here is one of my favorites for our planting zone, and it's called Hidcote Lavender. It's in full bloom. The buds are still a little bit tight, um, really deep purple, beautiful little plant. And I love this variety. I find that it's one of the hardier varieties in our area. Um, but I do have a couple of planting tips for you as well, as just sharing my favorite lavender variety. So my number one tip about planting lavender successfully is to buy bigger. So that means starting with a bigger plant is really going to ensure you that it's going to get going and it's going to survive, because lavender can tend to be a little bit tender. So bigger plant, meaning in a gallon size pot or larger. 2 gallon is fantastic. And that means that it will have the roots really well developed. So when you plant it, there's a better chance that it's going to succeed. You're going to have success. So this lavender here has been planted for, it's been about 8 years now. And you want to give it enough room to grow. So tip number two is where to plant it. And I would say in a nice full sun location, so 6 hours of sun or more. It's not really fussy about the soil. In fact, it prefers sandier soil, so it doesn't have to be nitrogen rich. It doesn't like to be fed fertilized, which is great for us. So sunny, poor soil is okay. You want to give it plenty of room. This here is about 2 feet tall, and I would say almost 30 inches wide. So very easy to grow. And also what's great is it's drought tolerant, so you don't need to give it a lot of water. But where to plant it, it's fun to put it along walkways. So I've got this along a walk, and the reason being is that when I brush up against it when I'm coming up the walk, it releases the fragrance, which I really love. So you want to give it plenty of room, but along a walk is a great spot for it. Unfortunately, you'll notice the fence in the background because I do have problems with deer, and I've had turkey. This is my vegetable garden that I have. I have the lavender in here, so unfortunately we had to put this up, but it is poking through a little bit on the other side, which is a lot of fun. So those are the tips on planting. So the where to plant and the location, and how to start with a bigger size for more success. So I want to talk about things that you can do with your lavender, because lavender is an edible flower, which is another reason why I love having it in the garden here. But there's lots of things you can do with it. You can brew tea with it. You can make syrups or jellies with it. You can, of course, use it as a garnish. And then people will use this for soaps and cosmetics. It has a stress relieving quality where it's a very calming and safe herb. So you should always do your homework, of course, before you ingest any of your herbs or make cosmetics out of it. You want to make sure you don't have any lavender allergies. But it is a really lovely herb. So my experience with what I've tried with lavender is I've made lavender jelly, which is fantastic on a cheese board. It has a really nice light flavor and it's great with soft cheeses. I had a couple of jelly fails and made it into syrup instead, and we used it over ice cream, which was fantastic. Um, and then, of course, tea. You can put it right into your bath when you're taking a bath, just as it is, or if you want to dry it. So something really simple that I like to do with it is dry it and then use it as gift wrap. So it looks really pretty with a couple of sprigs wrapped in ribbon. But any way you use it is fantastic, but what I want to do is I want to harvest it so that I will kind of have it in the bank and I can use it for any of those things, or just to give away little bundles. So I've got my snippers out here and I've got my little flower trug. So I'm just going to snip away. Best time to harvest this when the buds are a little tight. Early morning or evening is best, and hopefully you don't have a dog barking behind you. Um, that's causing me a little bit of stress, and this is supposed to be helping with my stress, so it might be a perfect time to do this. So I like to snip long stems, and that will enable me to make some nice little bunches, and then also I will have more flexibility in what I'm going to do with this after. I've also made cute little wreaths out of these, which is really fun. So I'm just going to snip away, and then I'll show you my bundles when I'm done. So I think I have enough here that I can do a nice bundle. So this is a good size bundle here. And then you can get creative with what you're going to tie it with. So I have a couple of options here. I've got some really pretty ribbon, a little more decorative, and then I just have some raffia here that I think I might use. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this, and then my bundles are usually no bigger than about an inch thick in diameter. So I'm gonna try these. I don't want super thick bundles because I want some air circulation here. And if I want to tidy up my bundle here, I can just go ahead and snip the bottom just to make it look nice and tidy. So for drying these, and I'm going to use my raffia here to hang it, I like to dry them upside down, just because I want to ensure that the flowers stay straight. If I dry it like this in a vase, then what's going to happen is they're going to curl. So I like flexibility in what I'm going to do with the lavender, so I do want them to dry straight. Like I said, use them in gifts, or as a garnish, or maybe even a wreath. So I really don't want some curled blooms here. So I'm going to make a bunch of these. I love them. I think they're so pretty just all by themselves and very fragrant. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a lot of fun and the lavender is lovely.